You check your phone at 11 p.m., bank balance 1247, same number it was 8 months ago, same number it was a year before that. You did everything they told you, cut the lattes, skipped vacations, drove the old car. Still, same number, the math feels broken. Here's what nobody says out loud. Your first 100,000 isn't slow because you're failing. It's slow because the math is brutal, by design. 7.8 years, then 5.1, then 3.8. That's not motivation talk, that's the formula. Stay with me. Frank Fourth Wall, subscribe. I'm Frank, 6 blocks, every dollar cited. I'm dropping these daily right now. Subscribe so tomorrow's video finds you. Let's pull the math apart. Block 1, the brutal mathematics of starting from zero. Tuesday night, your friend Dave runs Sunday night math at the kitchen table. Income up, expenses up, savings, $1,200. Same as January, same as last March, same as he can remember. Dave isn't stupid. Dave's making $78,000 a year. Median U.S. household, Census ACS 2024, 80,610. Dave's average, and average doesn't compound. Here's why. When you're starting from zero, every single dollar saved comes out of your own pocket. There's no magic money fairy, no compound interest working overnight. Just you, your paycheck, and discipline. This is the manual labor phase. You're the engine. You're pulling the entire weight of your portfolio with your own income. Every dollar saved is a dollar you didn't spend, nothing more. Save $5,000, invest at 10%, earn $500 in a year, $500. You could have made that selling old furniture on Facebook Marketplace in an afternoon. When your returns are measured in hundreds, not thousands, investing feels like a waste of time. Most people quit right here. This is the first filter. The first 80% give up before the math turns. Frank Fourth Wall verification. I ran these numbers through the future value formula 3 times. Damodaran SP500 dataset for the 7% real return. Every link is in the description. Tap the timestamp if you want to verify. Bankrate 2024. 56% of Americans cannot cover a $1,000 emergency. 56 out of 100. That's not the broke side of America. That's the median side. So when Dave says he's stuck at 1,200, he's not failing the system. He's exactly where the system is built to keep him. The first 100 is brutal because the math is brutal, period. Charlie Munger said it on tape in 2004. Daily Journal annual meeting Q&A, quote, "The first 100,000 is brutal. I'm cleaning the phrasing for YouTube." Munger was less polite. His exact framing, nothing compounds to nothing, pushing a boulder from a dead stop. Once it's rolling, momentum helps. At the beginning, it just doesn't. This is the part of the journey where most personal finance gurus lie to you. They promise easy, they promise fast. Munger promised brutal. Munger was the one telling the truth. Block 2, the mathematical inflection point. Watch what happens to the timeline. Save $10,000 a year, earn 7% real. That's the S&P 500 historical real return per Damodaran 2024. How long to your first 100,000? 7.8. 4 years. Almost 8 years of grinding. Almost 8 years where every spreadsheet line you write feels too small to matter. Now watch the second 100,000. Same 10,000 a year. Same 7%. Time required 5.1 years. The clock cut by 35%. Frank at the whiteboard. 2 lines drawn. First 100, 8 years. Second 100, 5 years. Third under 4, the slope keeps steepening. Third 100,000, 3.78 years. Fourth, 3.01. By the fifth 100,000, you're adding 100 grand every 3 years without lifting a finger more than you already do. Here's the moment that changes everything. At 100,000 invested, 8% return generates $8,000 a year. That's $667 a month, a passive raise nobody had to approve. $8,000 a year is more than the median American keeps in their entire emergency fund. $8,000 a year is what your portfolio earns while you sleep, eat, drive the kids to soccer. Frank Fourth Wall comment 3 numbers. 7.8, 5.1, 3.8. Drop your 100,000 target date in the comments. I read every one, and the next video picks the most upvoted milestone. Visualize it, doubling rice on a chessboard. Square 1, 1 grain. Square 20, 500,000 grains. Square 64, a rice pile 37 kilometers tall. The math feels boring until it doesn't. Your bank account is on square 3 of the chessboard. The 8th doubling, that's the first 100. Suddenly the next doubling matters. Suddenly the math is doing the work. The phrase contribution dominance versus compounding dominance, that's the official label personal finance academics use. Below 100,000, you're contributing 95%. Above, math takes over. Block 3, Universe A versus Universe B, the version of you with two paths from the same income. Universe A, income 65,000, hits the first 100,000 at year 8, upgrades the car, upgrades the apartment, upgrades the lifestyle, resets to 0 on the next milestone. Universe B, same income, same year 8, first 100,000, keeps the old car, keeps the apartment, keeps the discipline that got him there. By year 13, 200,000, by year 16, 300,000. At year 20, Universe A is still at 150,000. Lifestyle inflation ate the compound. Universe B is at 600,000. The math is hostile to upgrading at the worst moment. Frank at the spreadsheet. Same person, same paycheck, two universes, the only variable that matters whether you upgrade at 100,000 or keep grinding. This is what Vicky Robin called the crossover point in 1992, your money or your life. The moment your portfolio's annual growth permanently exceeds what you save out of your paycheck. For someone saving $20,000 a year at 7%. The crossover point is between 300,000 and 500,000 net worth. At 300K, your portfolio earns 21,000 a year. Game changed. At crossover, math becomes the lead engine. You become the steering wheel. The car drives itself forward. You just point it. Universe A never reaches crossover. Universe A spent the first 100,000 celebrating the milestone. The math never compounded because the principal never grew. Universe B never celebrated the first 100,000. Universe B treated it like a checkpoint, not a destination. Universe B is the one who reached freedom by year 20. Frank, fourth wall. Subscribe. Quick pause. Drop your first 100,000 target year in the comments. Most upvoted becomes tomorrow's video. We do these daily right now. Subscribe and the next one lands when you wake up. The choice between Universe A and Universe B isn't made at year 20. It's made at year 8, at the exact moment the first 100,000 hits the account. 5 seconds of decision, 40 years of consequence. Most people make this choice wrong. Lifestyle inflation feels earned. The bigger car is a reward, the bigger apartment is a milestone. Math doesn't negotiate, it just bills you for the choice. Block 4, the 3 levers. The math your bank doesn't show you about compressing this timeline. Frank at the desk. 3 levers drawn: offense, increase income; defense, protect the gap; efficiency, eliminate friction. Pull all 3 at once, timeline cuts by 40%. Lever 1, offense. The fastest way to your first 100,000 isn't cutting lattes, it's raising the income ceiling. A 10% raise on 65,000 is 6,500 a year, 6 years of compound. That's $80,000. Side hustle, freelance hours, skill stack, negotiate the raise you've been earning for 2 years already. Every extra dollar past your baseline is a silent worker that never clocks out. Lever 2, defense. Lifestyle inflation is the engine killer. Apartment up $200 a month. Car payment up $300 a month. Lunch out twice a week. That's $800 a month flowing back out and out of compound. The hardest financial muscle to build isn't earning more. It's not buying the upgrade even when you can finally afford it. The Camry stays. The apartment stays. The vacations stay modest for 4 more years. Then, math takes over. Lever 3, efficiency. Stop parking your money in a checking account, paying 0.01%. High-yield savings, 4 to 5% today. Roth IRA 401k. HSA, every dollar through a tax-advantaged account is a dollar protected from the IRS. The math on a Roth IRA, $6,500 contributed at age 25, 30 years at 10%. End balance, $113,000 tax-free, same dollars in a taxable account, $85,000 after capital gains, $28,000 gap from one decision. 3 levers pulled at once compress the timeline from 8 years to 4 years on your first 100,000. Same income, different decisions, same person, different outcome. But there's a 4th lever the personal finance industry doesn't talk about: automation. Willpower is finite, discipline is exhaustible, systems aren't. Set up automatic transfers the day your paycheck lands. Saving becomes the default, not a decision. The 30-day rule: any non-essential purchase over $100, wait 30 days. You'll find you didn't want most of it. That's the dollar that goes into your first 100,000 instead of into your Amazon cart. Block 5, the 5 counter-arguments and why each one breaks. Myth 1. The market is going to crash. Maybe, probably, definitely at some point. But JPMorgan Guide to Markets has the math. Miss the best 10 days in 20 years and your return drops by half. Most of those best days happen during corrections. Frank at the charts, same investor. 2 scenarios, 1 stayed invested through every dip, 2 tried to time and missed the rebounds. Difference at 20 years, $140,000. The market doesn't reward predictions. It rewards rational patience. Myth 2. I need to enjoy life now. Sure, spend on what brings real joy. Concerts, travel that matters, food worth remembering. But the 17 streaming subscriptions, the impulse Amazon purchases, the 4 times a week food delivery, that's not enjoying life, that's leaking compound. One friend tracked his spending. $300 a month on food delivery alone, $3,600 a year. 40 years at 7%, that's almost $1 million in opportunity cost. From food delivery. Myth 3, I'll catch up later. Math says no. The first 100,000 at age 25 becomes 1.4 million at age 65. The first 100,000 at age 40 becomes 380,000 at 65. Time is the only variable you can't buy back. Myth 4. My friends are buying houses, getting married, traveling. I'm missing out. FOMO is the silent killer of compound. Every social media scroll is someone else's highlight reel, financed, leveraged, or unsustainable. You're not behind, you're playing a different game. Myth 5. The amount I'm saving is too small to matter. At $100 a month at age 25, that's $8,000 at age 65. At $300 a month, $40,000. The amount matters less than the consistency. Show up every month. Math handles the rest. Munger's actual framework for getting through it is 2 words. Rational patience, not brilliance, not luck. The ability to sit on your hands while hyperactive people try to outsmart each other into worse returns. JPMorgan Guide to Markets has the math that proves it. Miss the best 10 days in 20 years. Your return drops by half. Most of those best days happen during corrections. Trying to time the market is the most expensive form of impatience there is. The one habit that actually compresses your timeline is simpler than any framework. Increase your contribution by 10% every year. 20,000 year 1. 22 year 2, 52 by year 10, end balance after 20 years, 400,000 instead of 240. Same investor, 1 adjustment. Block 6, the mechanism why this whole math works on smart people who should know better. This is documented in academic research. Charlie Munger said it on tape, but he wasn't the first one to name the mechanism.
Frank Fourth Wall, companion. If the first 100,000 is breaking you, there's a video where I run the math from the inside of a paid-off mortgage. FF-1003, same compound, different angle. Link in the description.
David Laibson, Harvard, 1997, Quarterly Journal of Economics paper titled Golden Eggs and Hyperbolic Discounting. Documented mechanism. Humans systematically discount future rewards in nonlinear ways. Today's $100 feels worth more than next year's $200. This is why the boring middle breaks people. Year 4, you've saved 50,000. Compound has added maybe 8,000. Your present bias brain says 8,000 for 4 years of grinding? Useless. Quit. Most do. Mullin-Nathan and Shafir, Princeton and Harvard, 2013 book titled Scarcity. Documented mechanism. Financial scarcity reduces cognitive bandwidth. People in scarcity make worse long-term decisions because the brain is taxed by the present emergency. This is why the first 100,000 is psychologically brutal. Not because you're weak, because the system is engineered to keep your bandwidth eaten by today's bills. The brain cannot allocate to 20-year compound when this month's rent is the emergency. The 2 mechanisms together, hyperbolic discounting plus scarcity bandwidth, explain 90% of why people give up before the snowball turns. It's not character, it's documented cognitive architecture. Munger's framework, rational patience. Not brilliance, not luck, not stock picking, the ability to sit on your hands while hyperactive idiots try to outsmart each other. That's the moral muscle the first 100,000 builds. At 34% of Americans cannot consistently save 5% of their income, BLS Consumer Expenditure Survey 2024. Yours is structural, the math is real, the brutality is documented.
But here's the part. The personal finance industry hides from you. The 75% who do get there to the first 100,000, the math then carries them. Half become millionaires by 60. The hard part is the first 8 years, not the 40 after.
Frank Fourth Wall, subscribe if this video helped you see the math differently. Like it. Drop your target date in the comments. Subscribe daily right now. Tomorrow's video runs the next milestone, from 100,000 to a third of the way to 1 million. 3 numbers to take home. If you remember nothing else, remember these. Number 1, 7.8 years to your first 100,000. Number 2, $8,000 a year, passive at 8% the day you hit it. Number 3, crossover point at 3 to 500,000. After that, the math carries you. Cap your lifestyle. Pull the 3 levers, automate the discipline. The first 100,000 is brutal, but it's the only one that is. Math doesn't negotiate. Don't try.